What is that tavern?
Hey guys, this is Penn's first YouTube video, maybe. We'll see how this goes, just running a strat home. We should be just about set, right? Gotta wait till this mage gets in. This is basically just me doing a recording of a casual strat on dead. Nothing special. There has been a lot of misconceptions about druids being able to use potions while they're in combat and in bear form, and I can show you in a couple scenarios, I hope to, that it is still possible. I basically use juju escapes and healing potions together.
I'm silenced, Pen.
And as you can see right there, I was able to pop the pot without much problem. And what I'll do is after the video, I'll link the macro just so you guys can use it if you're interested in druid tanking out there. It's pretty nice though, isn't it, Scrum? It kind of provides like an extra, a little bit of a safety net.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like barely out of form. Like, do you even take a hit?
I don't
Or can you take a hit?
According to the combat logs, no, I don't, it doesn't seem like, it seems like it's so quick that the next registered attack on me still registers with my bear form, not with me wearing leather.
Okay. Yeah, because that's like the only thing that I'm curious about is If an attack could sneak in there, if batching prevents that shit somehow.
Yeah. No, it's a good question. I'd like to do... I'll probably end up making a video with some Scarlet Monastery tests, or where you have like a whole room of things.
Right.
The only time it doesn't work is it is always possible for a crowd control to get you right before the macro that could screw it up. So you do have to be
Okay.
aware of that.
Yeah, but otherwise you could always time that shit between the boss attacks or whatever's. I mean, unless you're tanking multiple mobs.
Yeah, and even in that, like you saw, I mean, it still works okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Guess it's probably time to stop for some mana. It's a lot of nature resistance. It's not bad. Also, if you find any crates with any holy water, let me know. I'd like to start stocking them up for the raids. So here is a druid. You can actually cast Bark Skin and combine it with Hurricane. You can actually kind of just help DPS on these. There's not really a reason to tank them. You can see they go down pretty easily. Another great thing is always being able to give Innervate to the healer so we can keep the group going. So what do you think, Scrum? Should I start videotaping all the raids so we got them all like saved? Josh, anything?
What?
You think I should start videotaping the raids?
Sure.
Alright, nuke me down. So this is the boss you can farm that drops that trinket that will allow you to debuff a raid boss with 10% less hit. At least according to the forums. We're just not sure if that's going to actually be a thing in Classic. We'll have to test it, but it'll be pretty nice to see if it drops this time. Scrum, you think you want to just farm this boss with me over and over again forever? And nothing. Okay. The other thing too is I'd probably, for future videos, want to do more of like, have a second track that I kind of talk about the fights and things more after the fact. This one's just being more
Shit, I was muted.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I had my shit on mute. I was saying, fuck, I don't even remember what I was saying.
Oh. Well, I asked you if you wanted me to maybe stream some of the raids. I think it might be kind of cool to do
Shit,
that.
dude, I was muted that whole time.
Dude,
fuck.
you were muted. I assumed you guys were just being dicks or something, or maybe you didn't want to talk. I was like,
no, shit, that's what, okay, it makes a lot of sense now, okay. Yeah, no, I was saying, yeah, it'd be cool to get it from, like, a tank perspective. Does, Skinja, like, normally, like, streams this shit, right? So you could get, like, the caster perspective.
So Skinja's, I guess what I understand is with Skinja, he wants more to like live stream and kind of do the whole follower thing. What I would really like to do is put up more traditional videos that are more kind of like reminiscent of what vanilla was, where we're making a video just kind of to talk about vanilla. It's not really about having a whole lot of viewers or anything like that. It's just, you know, like, this is the gameplay and this is some information about, you know, like if you're interested in Druid tanking and where that kind of falls in.
Yeah.
Or just if you're interested in like how, like some strats, you know, we're on Nirvana over here in Rattlegore, so we might do things a little differently than other guilds. And that kind of stuff would be nice to just sort of let everybody else see.
Right.
But no, I think it'd be really cool to have them stream. We haven't really had anyone do it, so since no one else seems interested, I guess I'll start doing it myself. I have to see how much, of course, like space it takes up, but I think you can just delete the video once it's uploaded. So.
Okay.
But yeah,
I was just saying, yeah. I mean, like, I've never seen it, but like, I was just saying, like, to get a raid perspective
from another person in the raid. Yep. Tanking perspectives are good for raids, for some raids, and then others it's kind of hard to see what everyone else is doing. So it depends on like what kind of perspective you want.
Right.
It's not bad. Like you get a good boss perspective, like you can kind of see like how hard things are hitting for, and you know you can work on, like you can see sort of the positioning of the raid, which is good.
Yeah, and then, yeah, we might have to, I was saying, I don't think, I remember what I was saying. You were saying, if we should keep running this boss over and over again. I was like, yeah, we might have to do that. But then I was saying, can you even cast that item on a raid boss?
So all the forms...
Like a normal dungeon boss maybe, but a raid boss?
All the forums are saying the raid boss is yes, but the problem is, I don't know if anyone has actually answered the question, and if they have, they haven't shared it with everyone else online. So that's something we'll have to do, is we'll have to farm it. So I think it's buying when you picked up and you get 3 charges, kind of like a crowd bumbler. So you pretty much just have to... I actually think it's better to give it to the DPS versus the tank, because it's like one less thing the tank has to worry about, or a healer. But the idea would be if we know the boss is going to hit a tank hard for some reason, or we think heals are getting low, we can just kind of run up to the boss and throw it on real quick.
I was going to say, like, that would even open... I feel like that would... like, how big are your trinkets later on when, like, you're at Nax and stuff and, like, AK-40?
they're pretty big, but I mean this is a use item, so it's not it's gonna be like on cooldown with an engineering item is what I'm imagining. So if you're not an engineer, it's probably best to use it. But it's something that's like just in your bag. You pretty much just click your target, use it, and then it exhausts a charge.
Right.
So I mean, if we had everybody throughout the week getting a couple of them for the raid, I mean that might be a little excessive. Most bosses in Classic don't really hit that hard. But
Oh, so it's not a trinket, or it is a trinket?
It's not a trinket. It's an item.
Oh.
Yep, it's just a 3-charge item, and then once you exhaust the charges, you have to go farm it again.
Yeah, like why? I don't see why not. Like that would. I feel like that would like open up. It would make way more boss fights viable, like more viable for a druid.
Yep.
Like when like Hoo Ron, like when she enrages or whatever, like you could just pop that, or somebody could pop that. And I feel like that could. I don't know.
It's true. Like it would like.
Or does her enrage take everything off? Like would that take that away?
No, it should still keep it. And like you saw from that one video I linked, that Scarm did, shout out to him. It can be done. I think the question is how early can a druid tank it, and how much safer would it be to just have a warrior do it. Some fights are better for druid tanks, and some fights are just better for warrior tanks. But I do think that probably at the end of the day, all bosses a druid likely could tank. It's just going to be a question of how much harder is it on the healers and the raid as a whole to do it that way.
Right.
You know, because I mean, at the end of the day, like what his strategy was to be lay on hands at 30%, which gave him that extra 30% armor, and that kind of helped out a lot. So if you throw that in there and you throw in like it's never going to fully make up for a shield wall, but it does definitely help.
But yeah.
But then you get other fights where aggro is really more of the issue, and you don't necessarily want all the high mitigation. Like the DPS just needs to burn fast, and that's where druids are kind of best at like running in there with the crowd pummeler and just really like, because like that's what you notice like with Onyxia, pretty much like a couple seconds after touching Onyxia, the DPS is basically good to unload. Whereas with the Prot Warrior, you know, it would take a little more time to like get the fight set up and going.
Yeah. Yeah, How have you guys talked about how you want to do BWL off the bat, or no? Not really.
We really haven't. No, it's something we as a guild have to kind of decide if we want to run a Prot Warrior, a Fury Warrior, and a Bear tank, or if we just want to have all of our warriors be tanking Fury with none of them Prot. I like the idea of having a Prot Warrior, but I think the issue becomes that if they're not main tanking, there's not a whole lot for them to be doing. I mean, obviously they're going to be like lowest DPS, so sometimes it's better to just have a Fury Warrior tank that maybe isn't a lot of Prot gear that just can switch the sword and board, which that's okay. But the problem is it does become a little bit of an aggro thing, because I would argue with a sword and a board, a Prot Warrior is probably going to do more threat, because once you throw on a shield, it kind of ruins like the purpose of what makes Fury tanking so good, like threat-wise.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the issue with that. But at the same time, we can't have the boss be like blowing up a Fury tank without having the shield on either. So it's nice to have both. I mean, I think a lot of guilds probably would run a progression raid with a main tank Prot, you know, and then Bear and Fury tanks for like bosses where you need to blow up the boss quickly. And then like the really hard-hitting boss, you know, more of a Prot thing. But it depends. I mean, I don't necessarily know if we have to have one. Some videos out there and some forums seem to indicate it's never necessary to have a Prot Warrior, so that just might not really happen anyway.
I don't know. I feel like there might be somebody that's just down to be that dude that just doesn't really do shit.
Right.
Maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, and then just have them come in for the really big fights where we're like, yeah, we have a high.
This box over here is good if you want it, Pen, as well. That Strat water. But yeah, I mean, I thought maybe you and Josky would have talked about
we're gonna start
kind of what you guys want to tank.
I mean, I think for progression purposes, It depends on the boss. It's really a case by case thing. Just kind of like what we did with Molten Core. Like, there's some bosses I tend to tank more, some bosses he tends to tank more. Really, either one of us at this point could tank any of them, so it's more like trying to just kind of keep uniformity for the raid,
Yeah.
to keep things smooth. But we can pretty much swap in and out. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Gotta love this boss. The other thing that'll be nice is I'm starting to see now most people are getting their threat meters back, like it's supposed to be. So once we can start analyzing threat a lot better, that'll be nice. So this is the alternative option. Do you see this one here? It's basically the same kind of a trinket where you just sort of like have it and it's yours to keep. That's actually not necessarily bad for tanking either.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that that's going to be like I don't want to need on that one. So the other one I'm more curious to like have for the raids, but that it's
I
the
mean,
same.
dude.
It's the same idea. Like you can use it like it has a huge PvP purpose to it, of course. I mean that's obvious, but also just any time that there's an interrupt needed, you know, that's an option too.
Like, does who the fuck is it? Is it Shaz that's got the AoE, arcane AoE? That we stand in the triangle formation?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so Shaz. Does he have a cast time on that AE?
No, Shaz is, for the most part, I think everything he casts is instant. He's basically just, you know, and also it's pretty universally accepted that almost every raid boss is immune to interrupt effects. If they have a cast,
Okay.
which is kind of rare, it's usually very specific to that boss. So which one's good again, you said, over here?
Yeah.
Alright. I don't want to take everything, I just want the water. You guys, someone else can have the rest of that one.
Yeah, with my find treasure, it tells me which ones are good and which ones aren't.
That's true. Yes, the dwarf paladin.
Yes, sir. You'll never know though.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If the dwarf racial wasn't so amazing for priests, Smile probably wouldn't be a dwarf. I mean, I think I'd probably rather be a human priest. But I mean, you gotta have that fear ward. That's just a must.
Yeah. I like dwarves. I mean, that's why I made one back in the day when I was, because I don't know.
Well, the frost
But,
resist is really good, and if you're a healer, it's not like the human racials are really the best for like pally heal it in anyway. It's not really it's not a huge deal.
I mean, it doesn't matter what race you are. If you're a holy paladin, you look fucking ridiculous.
True.
So I just make sure I told myself this time around I was gonna be a fisher and a cooker, and I'm gonna make my own shit. I'm gonna make my own night fin. I'm gonna make my own savory delights, and I'm never gonna look like a scrub.
Yeah, man.
But it was rough last night because we had a couple deaths, and I was given napped some savory delights, and that motherfucker was dying.
Dude,
And he gets so angry, and it's like, dude, you get one shot though sometimes, man. I can't heal you.
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why, you know, all the guilds are starting to realize you got to have those fire resist pots. You got to have free action potions. There's just stuff that, you know, you can't. And we'll be dealing with a lot more bosses like that where DPS just can't take they have to farm their consumables if they want to be able to progress further. They just can't take all the damage. And it sucks too because we hate when like one of our higher DPSers dies. It kind of screws.
Yeah, it sucks. Well, I'm always trying to keep an eye out on like Nil and Napt, because I know like they usually die in Aronis. I don't know. But yeah, I like gonna be using these savory delights till I got like mostly tier 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how does it feel for you? It sucks kinda, you're just in your bear form all the time. Does that suck for you or no?
Well,
I know some people, they
I
get
mean,
bummed out about it. Oh,
if
we
they don't,
pulled
no,
a
it's
little
okay.
bit.
We pulled over.
Oh no,
okay.
we're good. I thought we pulled the whole pack, we're good.
We pulled quite a bit. We'll see how we do here.
Yeah.
Missed one. Not bad, not bad. You know, just keeping us on our toes.
It's easy, it's easy. You got it all.
That's what that challenging roar's for, man.
What's the CD on that?
10 minutes.
Okay.
It's a long cooldown, man. That's my big,
Yeah.
you know, like, shit's getting a little out of control.
Right.
There's another macro I had. I didn't use it for that pull because it wasn't necessary, but Druids can macro a limited invulnerability pot in. So instead of doing the whole like shapeshift to pot that way, what you do is you challenge and roar, and then you immediately shapeshift to make yourself immune to damage. Or you can use it first and then do the roar. Both, depending on the situation, it depends kind of what order you use. But yes, that's a way to like take all the aggro and not take any damage for a couple seconds if it's needed.
Do you have to wait for that to then fall off, or switching back to your form, does that take it off you, or does it stay on you?
No, it'll stay on, and not only that, if you pop it, regardless if the taunt has activated or if you need to activate the taunt, since taunts are spells, you'll still be able to activate it under its effects. So because of the rules of taunts, they still have to focus you even if you're immune to taking damage.
Okay. So you can cast every spell. Yeah, you can cast every spell with that. Yep, I know that. So I can deal with that shit.
It is typically, historically, was more of a warrior trick for speed running. You know, you'd grab a big pack of mobs and force them to attack you. But druids can do it as well. We lose about maybe a little under a second because of the global cooldown, but we can still have the effect for at least a good 5 seconds.
Yeah. Is this mage inside? I can't tell. He might be fucked. Oh, he got it. Yeah, I need to be using my invulnerability potions more. I have them. I just need to macro them.
Yeah.
Or not macro them. I need to keybind them better.
Yeah, just so that you're more used to using them. But I mean, you have a spell though that is better than invulnerability pot. So I mean, it's kind of like You know, but that doesn't mean you
But
necessarily won't use it. But you shouldn't need to use it as much as maybe like a druid or a priest
yeah,
would.
I mean, I think it's nice to have in the back pocket to use, especially in like when we're doing 20-man Onyxias.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just find myself going through that, always getting feared through the lava a lot, and I don't know, just to save.
Yeah. Now the 20 mans are fun. That'll be good to videotape. Those are always great. That's a good time. Doing a 20 man on HC is always a good time.
Yeah.
Even though it sometimes does get down to the wire a bit. Here, try to drink up if you can.
Well, it's just like, yeah, the last 20-man we did, I was super pissed because I fucking died to a shit ton of whelps, and I was super pissed at myself because I had popped my bubble just like an idiot because I got really low and but like I was totally fine. Like I wasn't gonna take any more damage. I could have just bandaged myself or healed myself just fine, taking my time. But I like freaked out, bubbled, didn't have it, and then I think somebody got tail whipped or somebody got put into the whelps, and I healing aggroed like 20 of them, and I just basically got one shot. And I was super pissed at myself because I was dead then.
Yeah.
For like the last third of the fight, and it was like totally preventable.
Yeah, that one we did, I think Lysandra was battle res like 2 times during the fight, which is pretty cool. Or it was like a soul stone and a battle res, like.
Yeah.
But it worked.
He soulstone to battle res somebody.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
what was funny is even me, like when I was tanking Onyxia on the 20 man, someone pulled aggro for a second because it was a phase 3. Like the aggro wasn't as well established, of course, and because she got it for a second or two, I was able to just go ahead and battle res someone.
Yeah, yeah.
Before I tried to get it back.
Yeah, I was happy that our group did it. We did it, what, on our second attempt?
No, that was the first attempt.
Was it a first attempt?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was first attempt, yeah.
It was a sloppy first attempt, but it was a very good.
Yes.
It was still a first attempt.
Yeah, it was like Valentine and Pallywhack, and they were like basically
Yeah.
And then like I think there was like 2 DPS up. It was like Skinja and somebody else, like another hunter.
Well, now that Omnixia has been patched up for the new phase, they did actually change her to like how she's supposed to be in vanilla, a little closer. And the true strategy is that the healers are supposed to
What, more
down
deep
range.
breaths or what?
No, they're supposed to down like the real strat is for Onyxia. The phase 1, you just want those light downranked heals only on the tank. Pretty much phase 1, no one else really takes any damage if they're not doing anything dumb. So like your healers should ideally get into phase 2 without really any mana loss. So that's the first thing, is they have to really like be careful not to overheal.
That's what I've been doing basically.
Yeah, and then during like phase 2, apparently like right when you think she's about to lift into the air, that's when everyone's actually supposed to go totally apeshit on her, like just completely blow her up, so that she's as low as possible for when she comes down. And if she fireballs the first tank, the second tank would then be the one that should appropriately pick her up, or vice versa. That's kind of like the idea, and as long as the healers have a good amount of mana by phase 3, it's not really an issue. But if the healers have like mana issues prior to her landing, then that's going to be, and that's where you can like when she's up in the air, I can give an innervate out, you know, like Yaga being the cat druid, he can give an innervate, like stuff like that, you know, to try to help out for the next step.
Yeah. I definitely think that like, I don't know, I just remember it being such an issue back in the day, but not anymore really. It's just, I don't know, with like the pots and the dark runes and I don't know, just smart, like not overhealing. I haven't really found myself going too much. Besides like maybe like a couple Gar fights in the beginning.
A lot of it's just the goofiness too. Like Onyxia is very big on positioning, so you know, one person that kind of messes the positioning up, or if she does have a positioning error, that's kind of like when people really start to feel.
Well, yeah, when you start getting people just like tail whipped into the whelps consistently, and then like just the whole raid getting deep breathed or whatever.
But that's the thing, if she's pretty low by the time she gets into the air, then she's coming down quickly for phase 3, and that's kind of the
Yeah.
goal, is like all cooldowns. Right, kind of like at the tail end of phase 1, all cooldowns are being like unloaded on her. But no, our DPSers at this point in the game are so strong, it's outrageous. Like, that's kind of where the whole like Fury tanking thing with warriors came into play,
Yeah.
and like Druid, of course, with crowd pummelers. Like, you have to, like, those DPSers, man, they'll fucking pull aggro off you half a second if you give them the chance.
Right.
But it's a good thing though, because it means we're putting out a ton of damage. What I'll do for you guys, if you're watching the video here at this point, once we get done with Ramstein, I'll try to show you the Druid invulnerability pot combination. One thing about macros with tank Druids is you do have to watch your global cooldown. It can potentially clip, and if your macro is clipped with the global cooldown, it does give you a possibility that you'll actually run out of like, your macro won't complete its cycle because you can't have more than one global cooldown in a macro. So just, I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll probably do it on a different video to show you the wrong way unless it accidentally happens, but if it's done properly, it's not an issue, but you'll see what I'm referring to if it's done wrong. Anyway, this guy stuns and just decides he's going to attack whoever he wants to.
Oh, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Wait,
He
why
used his
did
ice
you
block.
auto-attack?
Oh, because I bopped you. I forgot to take it off.
Yeah, he shielded you to keep you from dying.
What the fuck?
That's,
Alright,
yeah, I
feign
used
death,
to...
feign death, feign. There you go. Good
Back
job.
in the day, back in the day MCs, like, people used to pay me gold to, like, DI a tank, or,
So
like,
the idea here is you
bop a
should be able
tank.
to just pop this down here, come in, and then challenge and roar. And now you're invulnerable, but they still have to attack you with your invulnerability. Just so you guys can see that. You also can come out of bear form and do it. Whatever you prefer. Now we hang out and wait for these guys to spawn. Anyway, while we wait, I'll show you a little bit of the gear that I have. So there may be some disagreements about what Druid tanks should wear, and I'm always open for debate. Right now I'm kind of wearing sort of the general raid bis for Molten Core going into Blackwing Lair. And then just give you an idea, like just with Blessing of Canes, I'm at like about 6k health and like 11.5 armor. So, man, it's not, or 11,500 armor, I mean. So not too bad. Dodge chance right now is running about 19%. Druids do not parry or block. Alright, let me know if it looks like everyone's over there. We good? Scrum?
Yeah, looks like we're good.
Alright.
Just tell me when we're good to DPS.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, if you look at your aggro meter, you should be able to see if you're gonna pull.
That is true.
I'll show you here on the boss the macro here to pop a pot. So you're simply making sure no world cooldown is here. You click it once. Now I've activated a potion, and I also have an extra 5% dodge with the juju. And I mean, effectively it gives you a little bit of a barrier since you can't use a shield wall mechanic like warriors have for classic. So, and then threat-wise, I'm still saying pretty above the DPS overall. And there you go. Just as a reference, we were a little slow with the fight. We did have a 56 that did into 57, so congrats to him. And yeah, that's it, guys. So I'll see you next time.